R. Mason Thomas is not listed on the injury report ahead of Oklahoma versus Alabama in the first round of the college football playoff on Friday. My goodness, what good news this is for Oklahoma, and what does this mean for Alabama? What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think that R. Mason Thomas starting for Oklahoma is a boon for the Sooners? Or if you're a Bama fan, do you think it's just really not that important because it doesn't matter who's playing on the edge as far as you're concerned? I think this is tremendous for Oklahoma, and I'm going to take that opportunity to say a lot of Oklahoma fans that watch this show have been supporting this show for a long time, and now we have instituted memberships here, which allows for you to really take a stake in what it is that we're building here. And some of you have been around for a long time. This is a great way for you to show it. You'll have membership badges, you'll have emotes, and you'll have access to me. But this is, really helping grow the show, put it in front of new people, and take it to heights that you would like to see. I also think that if you're an Oklahoma fan, this is sending you over the moon. Like, I do a lot of moving and shaking around locally, as I'm sure many people understand. I live in Tulsa, and one of the restaurants that I like to have a meal at, had manager came out, Oklahoma fan, and he says, "Yo, dog, tell me R. Mason Thomas is gonna play." And I said, "It's looking that way. Let's wait on the injury report." So Adam, like, there it is, dog. He's not there. And Gentry Williams he had the shoulder surgery, but I think most of y'all have come around to Gentry Williams sometimes feeling like a liability out there. And really what you're most interested in is, can R. Mason Thomas and, that all SEC season he had really come to the forefront against Bama? Because 23 tackles, 9.5 for loss, 6.5 sacks, and that huge 71-yard fumble return for a touchdown against Tennessee. That's what it is. But it's also heart and soul of that defense. He really has, over the last couple of years, taken that on and become the guy to set the tone, to set the edge, and to make Oklahoma into an outstanding SEC defensive line. So one of those things that was missing from last year, one of my big criticisms of Oklahoma as it joined the SEC, is now you got to play big boy football on the offensive and defensive lines. That's what separates the good from the bad in the SEC. Can people run on you? Can you stop the run? And between R. Mason Thomas and Grayson Halton, and watching Danny Okoye come on, and I've been really thrilled with how that unit has grown up, to say nothing of behind it, being able to lose a guy like Jarrett Kennick to the offense and have a guy like Owen Heineke step up. And then what the Bowen brothers have been able to do, but they've been as advertised, right? This is also a game in which turnovers are going to matter. I've already got Alabama fans asking in the comments, "Yo, in a non-turnover game, who wins it?" I'm like, Tay Sandell on his leg. Because that's the other thing that Oklahoma has that Alabama doesn't. It's got the best kicker in the country. Lou Groza Award went to Tate Sandell. And that dude is an absolute unit. Like, he looks like he could play edge for Oklahoma. And he's got the attitude of a football player, not of a kicker, of a football player. Hearing that dude talk, watching him go around it. Herb Street doesn't like that he cut off his pants. Fine, whatever. He can knock it a long way with his foot. Get on side, son. Get on side. And this is bringing Oklahoma back to a place where they are finally taking on the character of their head coach. It's why I've been so huge on Brent Venables being the guy for OU, because college football is a sport where your head coach takes on, the college football program takes on the attitude and the demeanor of its head coach. And Brent Venables' attitude and demeanor is on a hoodie everywhere you look. Hard to kill. Hard to kill. It's going to take a lot to knock Oklahoma out, is how you wanted to go down. Texas is like, we did that already. Are you in the college football playoff? No, then sit down somewhere, right? Tell me about losing to 3-9 Florida. Go ahead. Tell me more about that. Anyway, I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, this is like, getting back your mans from the other world. This is Goku finally getting off Snake Way to finally make his interest go, yo, Vegeta, now you got to deal with me. What's up? What's really good? Or if you want to take it a step farther, hey, Frieza, after 30 episodes of us dilly-dallying and fighting, you know what really set me off? You knocking out my best friend. You taking my best friend and putting him in the grave. You know what's going to happen? Super Saiyan, baby. Nothing I love more than an angry, pissed off, mad Goku. And that is where our Mason Thomas got to be coming from when he's playing Alabama. It's got to be here, dog. That's what you want. The blonde hair, I ain't all for it. I think it's a little bit over the top when we got to change the man's hair to blonde because we're giving all these Aryan looks and whatnot when the dude got black hair. But you know what I'm saying? Look, Hulk out. Let me see what it looked like and let this fool Frieza know. Now you got to do with me and I'm going to enjoy this. There is nowhere to run, son. I don't know how to do the KOQ Katon no more, okay? All I can give you now is Kamehamehas, as many Kamehamehas as I got. I got spirit bombs coming out my ears. That's what it feels like to have that dude back in the lineup. That's what it is. You know, I don't need the crew. I don't need the crew. I don't need Piccolo. I don't need well, Vegeta more like me than Goku, but I don't need Vegeta. I don't need Krillin. I don't even need my son Gohan, who, by the way, is also an absolute beast when he's angry. But that boy be crying so much. And I'd be like, all right, I feel you on the crying. I be doing some crying. I understand that. But also, every time Gohan get mad, pissed off, everybody goes to work. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. If for whatever reason we can get them boys to end their Goku, Gohan, you done messed up with my family type stuff, you know, you done messed with my damn uncle and Piccolo, it's going to be over. That's it. That's what it feels like to have that dude in the lineup. Now, what does Alabama have to stop that? Can you run the football in that direction? And when Ty Simpson drops back, can you protect him? That's going to be the issue for that Alabama offense. Right now, you have to assume that neither one of these teams is going to be able to run the football well. You have to. They both got good defenses, though I believe Oklahoma has the better defense. Alabama has the better offense, but is it that much better? Especially if Jam Miller ain't really ready to go, right? He ain't on the injury report. Josh Cuevas is, so we got to assume he is. But that offensive line hadn't been pushing people off the ball here of late, and Oklahoma has not made it a business of getting pushed off the line of late. The other thing to take into account here is, what's it going to be looking like at corner? Because Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams can still hurt Oklahoma, right? And knowing that you needed the fumble return for touchdown is actually an edge for Alabama. Because in a non-turnover game, you got to feel like Alabama's going to think it has an edge. But is that a close scoring game? Because I think the higher the score goes, the better it feels for Alabama. Which is a wild thing to say about Oklahoma because it didn't always feel that way. It felt like Oklahoma needed to outscore people. Now, the lower the score is, the better you ought to feel if you're an Oklahoma fan. So it will go fast. You'll run the football. But again, John Mateer not throwing the football to other people, that's part of the sauce here. Can't be putting the football on the floor, can't throw it to other people. Which means that rather than you doing your jump pass stuff where you be throwing it into the hands of the other team, why don't you just launch that thing in the third row? You know what I'm saying? Just throw that all the way out there. Or slide. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with taking a sack if you're going to throw the ball to other people, let the defense do what it's got to do. I think in a game where the defense has got to show up, I'm going to give Oklahoma an edge. In a game where the offense has got to show up, it's going to be Alabama. Now, what you would love if you are in a one-score game, right, where it could go either way, you give Alabama the football, right? You feel good about Oklahoma being able to stop. You give Oklahoma the football down a possession, needing to go score, that doesn't feel great, right? So getting R. Mason Thomas to give you that extra edge where you might get a turnover where you otherwise would not, that's going to be so huge. And again, that's the reason why his play in this game is going to be such a big deal. Man, it's good news for Oklahoma. Is it bad news for Alabama? We'll just have to wait and see. That's what that is. We'll have to wait and see, because if he's coming off the edge and he's flying, Oklahoma can do anything. If they find a way to neutralize him, it's going to have to come from somewhere else, in which case I'd like to hear from you. Who else do you think can have the impact on that defense that R. Mason Thomas has had in the front seven? Interesting discussion.